Hey everybody, my name is Evan, and I like to draw, except we're not doing that today, we're 3D modeling yet again, and I made this Metroid helmet, except I'm stupid and I forgot to record basically the entire footage of me actually making the helmet, so what we're gonna do is make the helmet again, but really poorly, but then we'll compare the two at the end, so we're gonna get right into this right away, let's go. The reason I'm making this is because apparently only in the UK you can get the cool pre-order bonuses for Metroid Prime 4, well you can in America, so I'm just gonna add that to my list of reasons to hate the British. But anyway, to start this off, we're going to use a circle, which is now called a quad sphere. I don't know why, it used to just be called a sphere, and that kind of made me upset, but whatever. There's a little pretty circle. All we got to do now is grab the move tool and have symmetry on the left and right side, so we can move it around and make it look like the bottom of Samus's helmet. As you can see right here, I have a reference image, so all we got to do is pull down the little parts, smushing the sides and the top, and there you go. That's close enough to Samus's helmet shape. But of course, since Samus's helmet is 3D and we are 3D sculpting, we gotta add in the 3D parts to this model, so we gotta bring in another quad sphere, but this time we just gotta shrink it down to be an oval and slap it on front, and this is now gonna be the weird little mask bit with the respirators, I assume, at the bottom. Instead of making her head look like a xenomorph, now it kinda looks more like a helmet. And you can see what I mean with this right here. Ooh, fantastic. And as you can see, we got the little holes in the bottom part next to the V shape of the mask. I genuinely have no idea what to call them, but basically the way I made those was I took the clay sculpting tool and I hit the little sub button on the left side of the screen, and that just indents the model instead of putting it on top. So we can just make a bunch of holes and then smooth them out, and that's how you get holes in the helmet, which is just fantastic. Except our helmet isn't perfect yet, because if you look at Samus's helmet from the amiibo, which I bought because, oh wait, no, that's a banana jump. Wrong game. Alright, there we go. If you look at her amiibo from the side, which I bought because it's cool, but also because I wanted the side view and I couldn't find it anywhere online, you can see that her helmet has this weird ovular banana kind of shape to it, and our model doesn't have that yet. So what we gotta do is go in, add that, stretch it out, smooth it together, and then we'll finally have an accurate side profile for the helmet. And once a few adjustments are made, that is the bottom half of our helmet done, yet Samus is looking a little bit bald. So what we gotta do now is go all the way up to the top of the helmet and make the little top part of the helmet, which I'm not sure what that would be called. I guess it's just the top part of the helmet. But anyway, here we go. I made it. All I did was take another quad sphere, cut it in half, and make this. You just gotta stretch it out all the way to the side. Except it doesn't line up perfectly, so we gotta do our best to line it up and then bleed it together. And if you don't know what bleeding is, that's when you group things on a 3D model to make them one shape that you can then smooth, just like that. Now, weirdly enough, Samus's Viola suit helmet, which is what this is, has a bunch of weird little rivets and divots on the top of the head, so we gotta go back to our clay brush, lower the little size of it, and then indent it once again so we can get that little line going down the back of the helmet. I also do this on other parts, but again, I forgot to record it, so you're just gonna have to trust me. And now with the top and bottom done, that just leaves the middle of the helmet, so we gotta go make her weird little V-shaped part of the visor, and then the gem she has on her head in this version. And to make the visor, we're going to bring in a new tool called the tube tool. Oh my. The way this works is you just draw a line and then it makes a little cylinder around all the shapes. And then you can adjust the pivot points of each of the parts, and I don't know, it kind of works pretty well, but it's hard to explain. Anyway, all we got to do is morph this into the shape of the visor, except using a little bit of magic. Oh my goodness, there's a much better version that I made off camera because I forgot to record. Ignore the polygons, I swear it looks better when it's done. Anyway, the concept still applies because all we got to do is take this, put it on the helmet, move it around a bit, and oh my goodness, there you go. That's exactly what I mean. Wowie zowie, it looks like the bottom of her helmet. Ooh la la, that's so fancy. Again, though, weirdly enough, this helmet never runs out on details because this part of the visor, that little V shape I was talking about earlier, is also 3D and not just like one sticky out part right here because it kind of blends into it. So what we gotta do is get our clay brush yet again, make a little thing that's equal to the height of the other part of the visor below it, and then we can smooth it down and then use the crease tool so we can add lines that makes it look 3D in one solid shape. It's kind of confusing and not very intuitive, but you know, it gets the point across, especially because when you print this out, it's not that big, and it, you know, the detail will kind of be lost. Well, not lost, but it'll be submerged enough where it looks good. But as you can see on screen, that's kind of the gist. And before doing the actual part of the visor, we're going to take a quick second to do the little respirator parts of her helmet. I honestly have no idea what these things are for. The little holes on the side, I think they just look cool. But anyway, as I said before, we got to take the clay brush with the sub tool put on, and we got to sub it in a bunch. And the shape is also also pointy, so I made sure to make it pointy towards the corners. But once we have that subbed in and smoothed out, we can yet again take the crease tool, and we can make little bumps all the way around as we invert it, so then it sticks up and looks like that's where the shape begins. Now this is where we get crazy technical. In this helmet, Samus has got these weird little tubes that go through. Yet again, no idea what they are, but I do know what I do know, and we can use the tube tool. Oh yeah, we're gonna make a tube, and now we're going to talk about something I haven't talked about before. We are going to go in to the nitty-gritty parts of this program, and we're going to use the profile section. Ooh, Evan, what? I can hear you asking, I'm so confused, what does this do? Well, dear viewer, as you can see, as I very roughly move this around, the profile tool is actually used to change the shape of the tube itself. Normally, the tube is a cylinder, or, as I have it set now, it's a square, but as I move around these little dots, I can make it any shape I want. Amazing. So now what we gotta do is make the tube into a square, because from what I can tell from the renders, that is the shape of Samus's little tubes on her helmet. I genuinely don't know, but I think a square works the best. So all I gotta do now after this demonstration is make this into a square, and then we'll have the perfect tube we can use. And believe it or not, things get even crazier. We can twist our tubes. Yup, you heard that right. All we gotta do is turn on the twist feature and then move the little pink sliders at the top and the bottom, and that gives us a perfectly twisted tubey shape. So what we can do now is get even closer to the actual model, duplicate it a second time, cut out pieces of this one, make it a second shape, slap that in on the helmet, and we've got an amazing twisty tube respirator bit. Heck yeah, I love 3D sculpting. And after putting off the most annoying part for the longest amount of time, it's now time to do the actual part of the visor. But yet again, this is where my ingenious creativity comes in. What we're going to do is we're going to take a square, we're going to validate it, we're going to move it up, and we're going to make it into a very thin rectangle. Then we're going to size it up to scale, we're going to put it next to the visor. What I'm going to do now is take the separate tool, which basically works the same as the trim tool, and we're going to very roughly cut out a shape just for the demo. But once I do that, now we get the shape of the visor. You see where this is going, don't you? So now, all we gotta do is take the one I made off screen again because I forgot to record, which looks better, and as you can see right there we go, we've got an actually good, close enough, part of the visor. So here's where the real genius comes in. Now that we have this cookie cutter, basically what we're gonna do is line it up with the helmet itself. We're gonna move it around, mold it to the sides, bump it in, stretch it out, and then we can turn off the visor layer, boolean it with the helmet layer, and since the one layer is hidden, it'll actually subtract it when we boolean, and that's how we'll get the indent for the mask for the visor. Oh my goodness, I'm so freaking smart. Moving right along, the next detail is a little psychic gem, and you might think that just using the clay brush normally and slapping it on like that would be good, but no, I want my little psychic gems to be amazing. And so what we're going to do is yet again bring out the goat of everything, the tube tool, and we're going to do yet more features with the tube tool. So when we make a little line, we can also do something called moving the radiuses, and all we gotta do is delete these 4 little dots just so we have 2, then we gotta move them close together, drag out the one lit radius at the bottom, and then move the one at the top to be slightly smaller than the bottom one, and then we've got a perfect little gem shape, except we gotta go back to the profile tool and make the profile look like the psychic gem. From what I could tell, the gem is kind of just like a regular teardrop shape, and since we can really only work in a very limited grid, it works enough. You can technically like smooth it around, but I don't really bother, because again, this is just the example because I forgot to record the footage. But anyway, after we get the gem, all we gotta do is adjust a few little things, like actually making it a bit longer and then a bit shorter, so it can actually pop out and you can see it on the helmet itself. But once we got that there, we just gotta put it onto the helmet, and there we go. That's how you make a gem, fellas. Except it's not, because there's more tubes around the gem, and again, instead of using clay, we're gonna use the tube tool, my favorite. All we gotta do for this one is actually just make a C, and then move it up, and then move it down, and then duplicate it on both sides, and there you go. Again, I don't make it as good as I do in the final model because it's just a test to show you how I actually did my process. But all you gotta do is make one, duplicate it, go to the little mirror tool, flip it over the x-axis, and there you go. That's how you make tubes around your gem on your forehead. We did it, boys. And as you can see, I'm comparing the 2 helmets I've made. The one on the left is the one I actually did before I recorded, and the one on the right is I made just now. You can see the one on the left actually has a bunch more details on it and a little loop on the head, because this is a keychain after all. I don't know if I mentioned that, but oh my goodness, I made a keychain. I think that was in the title thumbnail. I don't know. Anyway, the helmets, they have slight differences, but that's okay. Anyway, I'm going to take note about this keychain loop. I actually wanted to make it something different than just a regular boring circle. I wanted to make it look like the logo from Prime 4, where it's like the weird little black hole egg shaped type thing, except when I made it, it really didn't look that great, and there's also no way it would function normally because it was so thin and skinny that it would just snap off instantly. So unfortunately, it was a better idea on paper than it was in execution, but it's alright. We ended with a circle, which is good enough because it still functions as a normal keychain and just looks normal, so yep. And you may think we're gonna end the video now, but you're wrong. That's too boring. We're gonna do something special and we're gonna paint the helmet. Totally not trying to drag out the runtime. What do you mean? I want to make it look cool and show another feature of Nomad Sculpt I haven't done before. Anyway, we can paint in this program apparently. I'm not very good at it, so don't judge me. But what we're gonna do is make this helmet actually look like the helmet from the game, so I can also use this as thumbnail material because I'm multitasking because I'm a big brain smart man. Anyway, we're gonna get right into it right now. So first things first, we're gonna make the whole thing red. There you go, that was easy. Alright, next up, we gotta make the visor purple. And there we go, we've got the first part of the purple on the visor. Apparently there's a bunch of purple. I don't know if it's part of the helmet, for it's like a glow, but what we gotta do is make the darker purple, then we gotta go and get the pink for the middle, and then we gotta go and get the white for the even more middle of the helmet. And once we do that, we can smudge it all together, and then we got a nice little reflective glow in our helmet. Next things next, we gotta do all the dark gray parts and the other bits of the helmet, which is along the forehead, the little respirator bits, and all along the back and side of the helmet. And once we do those, that's basically all the colors done. I do some shading off camera because yet again, I forgot to record, but no worries, it looks better in the gallery, which is exactly what we can move on to right now. Oh yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Truth be told, I just want to make a Metroid keychain because I was really upset about not being able to get cool pre-order bonuses. Unfortunately, I don't have access to a 3D printer yet, so I can't use this, but this is where I have a special announcement. Oh my goodness, I made a thing on the Thingiverse site, and now you can download this and print it out. Whoa, oh my goodness, that's right, I'm not gatekeeping anything this time. Wowie zowie, have fun kids, go print your Metroid helmets. Anyway, I'll print mine when I can do it, but yeah, I hope you made oh my goodness, I hope you liked the video. I made a thing. I'll make more things in the future. Like, subscribe, comment, please help me. Algorithm sucks. What do I usually say? Anyway, thanks for sticking out to the end, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.